going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamers for Life podcast, where each and every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, discussing all things games, talking that gaming shit. And I have my co-host Arthur Thomas back from vacation. We're still in vacation mode, it seems like. How you doing?
Doing good. Geographically, yes, I'm back from vacation. Uh, mentally, not really. I had a short week. I worked Wednesday, had a short day Thursday, short Friday. So it's been good.
That's nice.
Going camping. Going camping with the family tomorrow. So looking forward to
Okay,
that. Yeah,
nice.
just a one night thing.
Okay,
Actually, no, a 1 day thing because of weather. So we're just gonna get there early. We're just gonna get there early, bring chairs. Pretty much, we won't bring our tent because of weather. It's supposed to have an overnight thing. If it was just us, not the little one, we'd do it. But so we'll just be there for the day and head back. It's within driving distance. But yeah, like I said, geographically on vacation, but mentally still on vacay.
hey, that's good, man. Because typically, me coming back from vacation and then seeing like the wave of fucking emails to go through, it's like, oh god, the
God.
anxiety's back.
And it was great because where I was on vacation, there was no cell phone service, so I literally just had to leave my phone off. At one point, I called somebody because once like not a work thing, but at one point I called somebody. I didn't know what day it was. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'll go con on Saturday." I'm like, "Oh, today's Saturday? Oh, look at that!" Like, I was just totally out of touch. It was great.
That's wild. That's wild. Crazy, man. Crazy. Well, hey, if you're watching this, hello. Be sure to like and subscribe on the channel. Hit the notification bell. So you know when these episodes are going to be available or when our streams will be available that Arthur manages. And then everything else regarding to the show, you can go to linktree.com/gamers for life, the one stop link for all of our stuff. And here at the Gamers for Life podcast, we read the news while you can watch or listen to what you choose by clicking on the links of the time code within the description of the episode so you can go to the topics that you give a shit about, or you can hang out with us here at the Gamers for Life podcast. And good golly, Miss Molly, there's a whole lot of stuff that did happen while you were on vacation. So I was like, oh snap, we got a heavy set episode once you returned. So let's just start off with what we were talking about here before we record. And it's kind of funny because it's like a new but not a new thing. It's the Stop Killing Games initiative, where the Europeans are trying to pass. But I want to hand it off to you because you were making some good points that I was agreeing with in regards to it.
My thing, when it comes to stop killing games, is when it comes to a lot of this stuff, you look at the why and the how. And I feel like the Stop Killing Games initiative only addresses the why, but not the how. And that brings me to the Pirate Software supposed controversy, where like Joel, you called it streamer culture. They just jump on what's popular, and if it's popular to shut on Pirate Software, then everyone's gonna shut on Pirate Software. Because there's an initiative called Stop Killing Games, and if someone's like minimally not 100%, they're 99.9 for it, but they're like, oh, he's 0.01% against it. Who's how could you be against a bill or thing called Stop Killing Games? Make fun of him. And here's the thing, I don't agree with it. I kind of lean towards Pirate Software in this. Mainly because if you actually watch Pirate Software's video from 11 months ago, he doesn't really use emotional based language, which this initiative really does. Um, he just breaks it down into how vague this is, which I agree it is. It is vague. And then he breaks down even their own like argument and PowerPoint of how they need to that if this were to hit the step of going to law, something needs to happen behind the scenes with the people running it where they need to make this way more detailed. Way more detailed. Because you and I have experience of dealing with a city or you and I have experience of how when a law passes, how that affects your job. And I have experience working in hotels of just because initiative or law is named to one thing doesn't mean that actually like it's all, rainbows and sunshine. Um so so it's a lot to break down. So first of all, the Stop Killing is in the game's initiative. It's a European initiative. where it's a vague argument. It says they want to stop killing games. To what sense? And I would argue its core argument. It goes against the mentality of gamers don't own their digital games, where you really only own the not the lease, the license to it. Um, and that also games are killed, meaning like a game could come out for a few months, a game can be out. In this case, Drill, for 10 years, because the crew, the first one, not the second one, not the other one, the first crew is what they're hanging their hat on. I don't know if it's the best example, but they're using the crew, where a game can be out and then the servers are shut down, but because this is an online only game, a live service game, the game's essentially dead. So all this money you spent buying the game, all the money you spent with transactions in the game, that's gone. You can't get it back. And couple things through vague language, those are the two things it seems like they want to address, which is you should be able to own a game with a purchase of it, digitally or not. And that even after a game, the servers were to shut down, what can be done to have players allowed to play the game? Whether that's making go offline or releasing server control to the community. Um, and Pirate Software, who's been in the industry for I think it was like 20 years now, either previously through Blizzard or through his own company, his video 11 months ago is referring to. I'm not referring to all the clips and all the talk everyone's been doing for the past 2 weeks, but the original video 11 months ago, it goes into detail of why there's flaws in this initiative. Nothing the initiative is horrible, but there's flaws in it. He does say he won't support it. And here's the thing, Jarrell. At the end of the day, he does address it. He can't. This is a European thing only. We're not European residents. He's not a European resident. So if people are upset that he won't sign it, he legally can't. And if he did, that's fraudulent. But he does also say he won't support it. And to a point, I kind of agree with him minimally, not wholeheartedly, not whole ass, but no, what's the phrase? Not 10 toes in. But it's because, like I said, I think its biggest flaw is that it's trying to appeal to executives, to lawmakers by using vague, emotional based language, where it's saying, we don't like this. We want this to change. Please make it change. And it would be great if we live in a time where that's enough to make something happen, but it's not. Even in their own PowerPoint, like in the original video that Stop Making Games had, they have their own PowerPoint that says reasons this could pass. Number one, politicians like easy wins. Already a statement I can agree with. There's no such thing as an easy win in politics anywhere. I can't speak to European politics. That's my asterisk. I cannot speak to European politics. But at least from my experience with American politics, no fucking such thing as an easy win. None. Hey guys, here's a bill to fund 9/11 first responders. Is there any sub bills attached to it where everyone owes like a 30% tax? No. Is there a sub bill attached to it where people will the retirement age gets pushed back a year? No. Here's a bill that's only made to help fund people have lung disease after helping 9/11. Oh, yeah, that's going to take like 10 years to pass. There's no such thing. Again, I can't speak to Europe, but at least for American politics, no such thing as easy win. The second bullet point there on site, politicians mostly don't care about video games. I partially agree with that because because do I think a politician cares about a video game? No. Do I think politicians care about the money behind video games? Yes. In fact, we just saw this with the Xbox buyout. If politicians didn't care about if politics again American because it was the FCC is the FDA. Actually, no, even Europe was involved in this. If politicians allegedly didn't care about video games, then Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard wouldn't have been delayed for years, right? Now, again, I will say though that the biggest delay behind that was the American side, of the FCC, um, and all the other shit of, monopoly laws and whatnot. So again, I will agree that the American part of it is what delayed it the most. But again, you and I talked about Drell, like, oh, this is an easy layup. Disney buys Star Wars, no one gives a shit. Disney buys Marvel, no one gives a shit. Disney buys 21st Century Fox, no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. Xbox, Microsoft tried to buy Activision Blizzard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Years worth of red tape. So again, second bullet point. Politicians mostly don't care about video games. That word mostly kind of says it, but I still, again, from my experience, I still don't agree with that. The third bullet point of reasons why this could pass. The law is already unclear. That's, to me, that's a failure of a bullet point. Because if you're saying, well, the law is already unclear, so that's okay if ours is unclear, that's like, yeah, I mean, that's underlying the strength of your own argument. It's like, hey, we know it's unclear, but it's okay. The law's already unclear. We're just doing the same thing. So even though you may be trying to fix something based on your own verbiage, it's as if you're not trying to improve it. And then if that's the case, then how thought out, how passionate, how invested are you in this if you're looking to do the quote unquote status norm, but the status norm for the sake of good instead of corpo? So again, the law is already unclear. I think is I think that bullet point exists just to defend its own self of why it's vague, which again I don't agree with. The fourth bullet point why this can pass. The initiative is in line with other consumer policies. Holy shit, that is a vague statement. Like consumer policy against what? Consumer policy against food? Consumer policy against movies? Because that's not true. You don't own a digital movie, so it's not in line with that. Hell, this is in Europe, Drill. In Europe, I don't know about all of Europe, but at least in the UK, Drill, they have to own it. They have to pay a license just to have their fucking TV on, even if they don't use it as a TV. So again, American brain, outside looking in, crazy vague and seemingly an incorrect statement. Because again, I don't know European law, so I can't think of any consumer policies already in place to uh protect Europeans. You protect Europeans from similar policies, similar law. And then drill the last bullet point of reasons why this could pass. It's a diversion for more serious topics. What the fuck kind of statement is that to put on your own thing of why we think this will win? It's a diversion. That bullet point undermines the significance of this whole thing. Where it's like, hey, politicians, you should pass this. It's not a big deal. Then you see what I'm saying? If it's not a big deal, then why should they care? And again, that goes back to the easy win. Again, I can't speak to European politics, but at least in American politics, there's no fucking such thing as an easy win. And if any of you don't believe me, I I ask you, go to a city council meeting. Till this day, Jarrell, I have never wanted to blow my brains out. Holy shit. Where I used to live in Southern California, because there are laws being passed around hotels that affected our job, affected our management, and it affected our industry. We had to go to a few city council meetings. Holy shit, Jarrell. I have never seen a biggest waste of taxpayer money than city council meetings. It's like the biggest circle jerk because there were like 13 council members. It was a big city. And every time the next person spoke, they had to thank the person before them. So by the time the 10th fucking person opened their mouth, it's like, let's say you will from before me. You're like, I like to thank the people in the room. I like to thank um those that wrote this initiative. And I like to thank this person. That's three people you gotta thank, right? Let's say that means and I went to multiple city council meetings. I went to four. And I was like, I'm not going to a fifth. I'm out. Fuck this. That means the next person after them, when they went to thank people, they had to thank your three people and the two people they wanted to thank. So when the person after fucking them went, they had to thank everyone that got thanked, and then the person they wanted to thank. And then the next person went, and the next person went. And like I said, Joe, by the time I got the person 10, I wanted to blow my fucking brains out because it was just a thank you fest. And it was like, we're not like winning an Oscar here. We're here to talk about a law, and we've spent half the fucking time allotted to it thanking everybody.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn, can we stop this circle jerk? So that's my thing when it comes to like when I say like politics aren't easy, just all this stuff. That's just my experience with it. But so back to this at hand.
Where
Again,
did you find the bullet points about it? Because I can't find that on their website.
that was in their original YouTube video.
Mm, okay.
Pots that was in uh so that was in the original YouTube video they made about this. So I don't know if
Okay.
it's on their website. Their website might have a link to it, but
Yeah.
that's where that.
Okay.
And so back to the Stop Killing Games initiative at hand. It's like there's the idea of something, the practice of it, and do I think it's going to pass? Those are kind of my three topics going to this. Do I like the concept of it? Yes. I talked about how you and I were talking about Squadrons. Squadrons was the first time EA really did something creative and did a new IP, a new concept, and till this day, Jarrell, we have seen mechanics in that game we haven't seen anywhere else. Like if you really think about Squadrons, they had that game mechanic where you only had so much ship energy, and on the fly, you can shift your power away from your engines, but to your shield and to your guns, and away from your guns and towards your shield. Regardless if it was a Star Wars game or not, we haven't seen those mechanics anywhere else since then. And you and I, we all were playing that game. And it was so fun. But then within a month of the game coming out, they said, we stopped supporting the game. So the game was essentially dead. Not truly, because you can still play the game. The servers are still up. Support for it was not. And that was disappointing because we wanted more support. We wanted more ships. We wanted more missions. We wanted more battles. We wanted more. So in the game that, you know, made you hungry for more, told you there is none, then we all walked away from it. Not because it was a bad game, just because when all we did was like, I want more, 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 more. We walked away. So the game was semi-dead in the sense it was being supported, but not the dead. You can still play it. You can still play Squadrons, which I recommend you do. Give it a try. Look for on sale. Maybe it's on Game Pass. I don't know if it is or if it is on sale. Check it out. Squadron is a good game. Even at a release trail, it wasn't full price. It was only $40. Um, so, but they used the crew as an example where 10 years after launch, the crew's servers are being shut down, killing the game. And they were saying, well, what if why can't they make the game offline? Or why can't they release the servers to its fans, to the community? Which I agree with. Um, but it's just unique that they use the crew as like the go-to example because that was an MMO style game. It was always advertised as online only from the start. And also, the Crew 2 got released. And like a semi expansion, not Crew, it wasn't called Crew 3, but I think it was like called Crew Motorfest or something. So that's what I'm saying. I agree with the concept of it, but not how it's being described and not how it's being implemented. So that's the other thing I'm not full 100% agree with of how they're doing it. Is it's very vague. Um, like I was telling you, Joe, before the recording, with said law that I had to go to local city council for to kind of I didn't. They gave us an opportunity to voice my opinion in. I was just there to be present. My bosses or owners of different things spoke. Um, but when that law drill inevitably be passed, the law was so fucking vague. We had to call city council. We had to call city hall to ask what the fuck it meant. And they put us on hold with a department that's their job. Their job is to interpret that. And there's a middle ground between the most vague law that's worded for a lawyer and not the average fucking voting citizen or employee and super vague stuff. There's a middle ground. And they could have hit that middle ground. They could have been the pedestal example. They could have been the shining moment of this is how you could write legislation by the people for the people, if you want to get all political with it. That's not worded like a lawyer bullshit, but not super vague. And they went vague. And that was even a talking point for them. Why do we think it passed? Well, we know it's vague, but the law is already vague. So, and so the next thing is this is not a law right now. This is a petition to get it to be on the ballot, I think. I forget the next step. I know, at least in again American law, that's kind of the process how this works. They get enough signatures, then it goes on a ballot, and it goes to the actual like poll where people vote on it. But it's not law now. So currently, do I think it'll get enough signatures to hit the next step? I think so. Because on their website right now, they need 1.4 million and they have 1.32. So just shy of 800,000 people in Europe sign this. I think it'll work. I think it'll pass. So, now, that being said, do I think if it hits the actual law stage, do I think it'll pass in a European court? That's a gray area, Joel, where I say I don't know. Only because I think it's too vague to pass. But whenever we hear of a law passing about video games, whether it's unions or anti-gambling practice or other negative practices, every time we hear of a law passing, it is in Europe. So that's the other thing. That's the entire variable. I just don't know enough. If this
Yeah.
were if this were one for one in the United States and this gets enough signatures, do I think this would pass if it made to legislation? No. If this were to be United States and its next step was to go to a poll or like, you know, be in an election year and the people vote on it, yes, it would. But I haven't looked into enough to know what the next step is. Well, why, Arthur? Because it's in fucking Europe. I can't vote on it. So I can watch it from the sides, but knowing I can't legally have any hands on it, I haven't invested too much time to know what the next steps are. Will we in the next episode? Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
But even the best case scenario, I can't have hands on this, nor should I. But that's my third thing is like, do I think this will pass? I'm mixed because because do I think it could stand on its own merit? No, but that depends where it goes next. If it goes in the hands of the people, I think it will pass. If it goes in the hands of lawmakers, I don't think so, but with an asterisk, because again, the asterisk is every time we do hear of a law passing about gaming, it is in Europe. So that's an entire factor I don't really know enough to speak on. The last thing I want to talk about, and I think you and I were talking about this in detail, is the controversy and stuff around Pirate Software. I think a lot of this is around when it comes to people like the fandom speak on it. I think a lot of that is around streamer culture, where he made a video on this 11 months ago, but a lot of hoopla isn't getting talked about until like 2 weeks ago. I will say the reason it got talked about more 2 weeks ago because that's when they hit the latest benchmark, meaning it's like it's gonna keep going. But this has been in the works for 11 months, and like I said, I kind of minimally lean towards Pirate Software in a sense that like he was just much more detailed. He was more detailed in his argument about this than the actual initiative itself. Like Joel, you were like even you were saying you were going through the FAQs, you're going through the frequently asked questions. Even there you were saying this is super fucking vague. You know what I mean? And you and I were talking about how again I cannot speak to European politics, but at least from the American side, if you're trying to appeal to executives and billionaires to spend more money for their consumer base, you cannot go at this with emotional language, which this is. Like, we're saying where it feels like a lot of the community reacting to this are reacting to it again, for the most part, not everyone, but due to the emotional language. Oh, killing games is bad. Not owning a game is bad. And yes, I agree. But as both of us have been in that management level position in various industries, when someone comes to you and says, "I want this changed because I don't like it because I think it's bad," okay, well, how would you like it changed? I don't know. It's your job. You fix it. That sounds like a great tweet. That sounds like a great fucking snapback of like, "Yay, slay, bitch." But guess what? Don't be surprised in a month or a year when it doesn't fucking change because it doesn't work like that. It's not again, it's not fucking rainbows and unicorns. You can't realistically go to these types of individuals, billionaires, and say, "Hey, we want you to make less money because of this." Well, why? Because it's bad. How? I don't know. That's your fucking job. And I'd be surprised when they don't fucking change anything. And so I just think that again, I don't know where this will go, but I will say the vagueness of this and specifics of how this will happen, what they want to make done, I think may be a hindrance in the long run. I could be totally fucking wrong. Europeans could be like, "Yay, fuck gaming industry. We'll fight for you." Cool. I don't fucking know. But that's my thing is like you and I are very like an anti-corpo. But this is the one thing it's like I can't full head first dive in support this. If like one of our employees were proposing this, immediately I would say you've spoken on the why 1,000%. You need to focus on the how much more. And that's just constructive criticism I would give to an employee if it's like, hey, I want to push forward this PowerPoint to supervision to fix this and this. What do you think of it? And that would be my constructive feedback. You've nailed down the why. You're putting your feet in the why. You can stand the why. You don't have enough in the how. And in some places, that's enough. In other places, not at all. And that's why I don't fully agree with everyone just clowning on Pirate Software. Like the guys talking about how there's different servers. Like, well, what about the servers? Yeah, that's a word, but really, right now, can anyone describe me how a video game server really works? I can't. He was saying a lot of games are based off client-based servers. I didn't even know what the fuck that was. And he was saying games are based off client-based servers. This might not work to the degree they wanted it to.
Right. It's not a patch won't allow it to be played
Yeah,
offline. Yeah.
it's like a complete overhaul of the interior framework behind the scenes. And that's where I'm kind of ending with that. Is at the end of the day, if it's being asked, like I said, from a work perspective, if this is like a work PowerPoint to put to your higher ups to fix something, and you have 4/5 why and 1/5 how, from my experience, that would not be suffice for me to either fully support it or B, to tell them it has enough merit to pass. And that's where I'm with that. And that's why I don't agree with all the fucking dogpiling on a Pyre Software is saying. Pyre Software to its core is not saying this is horrible, this is stupid, why would anyone want to stop killing games? He's saying the way they're going about this may not be the best way. And that I do agree with.
Yeah, well said. I mean, I'm not going to go into super detail because I agree with what you said, and I think you articulated it really well. I think as far as just kind of my little nuggets on the side, in addition to it, is just looking at the FAQs on the website. It's just a lot of it just seems like a rough draft essay. You know what I mean? That's just that needs to be redone. It's not very clear on the specifics. They don't even really. It doesn't seem like they really know what the law is when it comes to these different licensing agreements, what people actually have rights to. And you're right, there is a lot of emotional language. But and to be honest, like if I'm not like if I was a betting man, I think that's probably 70% of their signups. Stop killing games, right? That's such an emotional marketing pitch. Like it's a beautiful name for a petition. Right? Stop killing games. Yeah, sign. You know what I mean? But as far as the specifics around what it is, it's like, okay, so what are we talking about here? You're talking about offline games, like you said. Some online platforms are client based. A patch won't fix that because that was one of the things. Like, oh, let's add a patch so we can play it. Okay, you don't know. It's clearly you don't know how all games work online. So let me walk this through with you. Like that. Like So to your point, yeah, there's a lot that it seems like these folks that started this that they don't really know the practicality around it, and they need more information to prove their point. You know what I mean? And that's not even like a corpo thing. That's just education, right? You know, like when I worked on my doctorate and I had to do my doctoral study proposal, you know, originally it was some vague shit, and I got called out by my fucking doctoral, counsel. You know what I mean? I had to fix it. I had to refine it. I had to add more facts. You know what I mean? So when it comes to something like this, it just and like you said, like the crew is such a terrible example. You know, like you said, it's like they have multiple crews that came out. Like, what are we fucking talking about? You know, and I think there's other situations within the gaming industry where I think a petition should be signed because there's a lot of weird shit in these end user licensing agreements. Like Ubisoft saying you have to destroy all of the copies of whatever in your house. Like, what the fuck? Like, so there's a lot of weird shit that I think that should be looked into in more detail. But when it comes to the Stop Killing Games, I think it has a nice emotional marketing punch, but when you get down to the particulars, it's not enough to prove a case, and it seems like the people that wrote this aren't really fully educated on games. And yeah, and when it comes to Pirate Software, I don't think he deserves the wrath that he's getting. And it's very much, once again, streamer culture, and once again, it is it's your classic internet, world star shit. You know what I mean? As far as like,
Clickbait.
yeah, clickbait. Like, let's just clip some stuff, mix it up, and make this guy seem terrible. And again, like you just said, like this was like almost a year ago where he had a 15-minute video on YouTube that made a lot of sense. Like, I didn't watch all of it, but I was 2 minutes in, and I was like, I kind of agree with him. You know what I kind of agree with him.
It, it
So
it's it, it's weird because when you see all the hate against them and you watch his video, you're like, okay, but he's making sense. So now I'm confused why people are mad at him. You know what I mean? It,
yeah, because I saw there's one guy that keeps showing up on my fucking Instagram. He does a lot of video game news and stuff, and he was talking about it, like how like 100,000 subscribers leave this guy for saying this, and then he just had little clips of him just being frustrated, Pirate Software saying this is fucking stupid, whatever. But it was nothing from the articulation of the first 2 minutes of the video. It was just the clickbait stuff like we just talked about. And I was like, something doesn't add up, because I've seen quite a few Pirate Software videos, and he's a very like practical, logical person that knows a lot about this stuff, and he breaks stuff down. So I was like, that doesn't really seem like him just lashing out randomly saying, "Oh, I don't support this," and then watching that stuff video, I said, "Oh, okay, he got interneted." He got interneted. A bunch of people that
hmm.
don't understand, but they know clickbait stuff because everyone's on TikTok doing this.
It's like
you know?
everyone's saying is like Pirate Software's take on this is bad, but they don't actually show his take. They show his reaction to people being upset about the
Right,
take. Yeah, I
right,
mean,
right.
that's
Yeah.
my thing. It's like, oh, his take's on this bad. Let's go to a video about him being upset about people being upset to him. Okay, well, show his take. Yeah, I mean, and again, and he ended one of his last videos like, I hope you get what you want, but not in the ways you want it. And to be fair, that's kind of how this kind of happens with like again law. And again, people are like, "How can you be against stop killing games?" Again, I can't speak to European politics, but in American politics, there's some shady shit where there could be a bill that says stop killing puppies, but hidden inside the law gives KFC the right to kill puppies if they're used for chicken. And it's like that's just how this shit works. So if you don't look into it, they're like, "Oh, hey, did you hear this? Influencer is against an initiative called Stop Killing Puppies." Yeah, here's a video. Oh, here's of him being upset about what people are saying. Oh, do you have a video about him actually like giving his thoughts on it? No. No. Just the reaction part, but not his actual argument. But again, that's my thing too. That's my thing too. Is again, not everyone's doing this, but again, for those that are, that hit our fucking feed at least, it's very clickbaity where it's like, oh, this guy is against the Stop Killing Puppy initiative. No, he's against KFC using a legal loophole to use puppies in their fucking new sandwiches. You know what I mean? Because that's real
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
Not one to one, but
yeah,
that's real shit.
yeah,
How laws, how again, at least in the United States
yeah,
work. So just because it has a cool fucking tagline doesn't mean that's all that's in it. So again, so all
yeah,
the clickbait shit of this, hey, alleged gamers against games dying. It's like it's not what he's saying. He's saying how they're going about this isn't the best way, and their own bullet points of like, hey guys, hey Europeans, we like the metric system. Fuck Americans, right? Here's why. I'm just being a joke, but it's like here's why you should vote this because you like winners. Well, here's why we think this will pass. The law is already vague. Haha. And it's like, what? That's that's your fucking argument. Like I said, one of my employees said, why we think Arthur you support this. Well, the current verbiage is already vague. And I'm like, well, no. I'm I mean, it's like, and like I said, it's like politicians like easy wins. Again, like I'm saying, going back to those bullet points of why they think it'll pass. It to me that shows at a glance. Like I said, we're talking about this, Real. It shows at a glance why like it's not cut and dry as people are making it. It's not black and white like streamer reactions are making it. It's there's a lot of holes in if not in their argument. Even their own like put it this way, Joel, of all the FAQs, only two questions use the word how. Only two questions use the word how. If you do control F, it shows up three times, one's an answer. But like the question is how are publishers destroying games? And it goes into a non-descriptive form how they're killing games, which I will read it. So on their FAQ, how are publishers quote unquote destroying games? An increasing number of video games are designed to rely on a server the publisher controls in order for the game to function. This acts as a lifeline to the game. When the publisher decides to turn this off, it is essentially cutting off life support to the game, making it completely inoperable for all customers. Companies that do this often intentionally prevent people from repairing the game also by withholding vital components. When this happens, the game is destroyed because no one can operate it ever again. That one statement of if companies that do this often intentionally prevent people from blank, again, when it comes to law, and I can't speak to Europe, when it comes to stuff, avoid intent. Because Joe, because you now have experience again, have experience at a management level, you can never imply intent because that's saying you know what they're thinking. If you ever imply you know what someone's thinking, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's like, sorry, but like tell me you never had a course on management or leadership without having a course on experience in management leadership because that's real shit. Like to your doctorate and to other things we do in our daily life. If you ever imply intent, it's like you're saying I'm a psychic, I know what they're thinking. And it's like no, you fucking can't. Change the language. I know we're getting into semantics here, but this is the type of shit, yes, this is a hypothetical. This is something that might go in the law. This is something that I deal with working all the time. This is something that you deal with work all the time. These are real criticisms. And because I'm criticizing it doesn't mean I want it to die. Just because I say, hey, you should change your language to not imply intent, that's not me saying Arthur wants this to fail. No, that's me giving constructive criticism to remove this emotional based language because that's what it is. Implying that you know what someone's thinking, that's emotional language. And if your audience is people that don't relate, like, or support or use emotional based language, they won't look at this as strongly as you think it is. The only other question that uses the word how in their FAQ is how is this campaign going to save video games? That's a big one. So, Gerald, how is this going to save video games? If companies face penalties for destroying copies of games that they have sold, this is very likely to start curbing this behavior. First off, how much? What's a penalty? How much is a penalty? What triggers a penalty? Shutting down servers, shutting down support, not making the game offline, not making the servers. Again, describe penalty. I'm originally from Cali and LA County. You and I both know what's LA County's solution to everything. Find the money. Hey, remember when the port of LA and the port of Long Beach had like delays in ships getting handled fast enough because there wasn't enough employees? What was California's quote unquote solution to making ships getting processed faster? Oh, hire more dock workers? No. find the ship companies the longer their ships are out at sea. Okay, that doesn't actually fucking fix it. That just yeah, that just finding people that doesn't just because you're gonna say you're gonna find people doesn't actually make ships process faster. If there's only one fry cook working at your fucking Burger King, telling your one cook that you're gonna take money from his paycheck, the more customers that walk out, that only does so much. You know what I mean? And so again, a fine to its core may not be the best solution. Also, not detailed. If a
Yeah.
company is forced to allow customers to retain their games, even in one country, implementing those fixes becomes a world becomes sorry blah, blah, blah. To retain their games even in one country, implementing those fixes worldwide becomes a trivial issue for them. Um, Here's the thing. That shit may work in Europe. Again, my American brain, that shit won't work. Just because the law passes in France doesn't mean this, eagle beer drinking country will give two shits about what France passes.
Yeah.
I get just reality. Again, that's not me against this. That's just, and in fact, Jarrell, here going on with it. So if the string of game you paid for becomes illegal in France, companies that patch the game would likely apply the same patch to the games worldwide. You can't confirm that. Again, you're assuming intent. You're assuming intent. You can't confirm that just because a company fixed thing in France, they're gonna fix it for the whole fucking world. We can't.
Yeah.
That's hopeful. An analogy to this process is how the ACCC in Australia forced Valve to offer refunds on Steam. So Valve ended up offering them to people worldwide as a result. That's a unique case study because it involves refunds. Refunds is not the most foreign concept. Refunds, I would say, have been around since long as transactions have been around. Again, that's not me hating on that's not me saying, oh, Arthur wants to die. No, this is just constructive criticism. If you're using, like I said, well, refunds is a very known concept to any country of any person. This stop, like, Joe, you and I have seen every time a tech person went to the U.S. Capitol Hill. You remember all that shit when the Facebook person went to Capitol Hill and some fucking 80-year-old, some fucking elderly lawmaker was like, "Hey, when I order a pizza, the pizza knows where I live. Is that because of you, Facebook man?" No. If you have, I don't know, if you have your map location on when you're ordering Domino's, that's why Domino knows where you live. Does Facebook know where I live? So again, you can't take the concept of a refund and think, I can't speak to European politics, but at least for American, you can't take the simple concept of a refund and say, oh, well, therefore everyone's going to pass this law because everyone knows how video games work, right? When our fucking politicians was like, is TikTok Chinese? You know what I mean? All these fucking politicians do not understand tech. It's like, I'm going to pass a law that's going to affect millions of people. Okay, can you put a PDF on your email? What the fuck is that? So
Right.
so
Right.
again, so even that one thing of how this campaign's going to save video games, they talk about a fine as we've seen in practice, Drell, not in concept, in practice, a fine doesn't always fix everything. Um, and again, if a fine, defined by how? Defined by them making this initiative, defined by the politicians that may eventually pass this, discuss this. I don't know. Another emotional, hopeful wording on this is, well, for example, if it's passed in France, it'll get passed elsewhere. Again, that verbiage, that type of language and thought for hopeful prophecy probably works in Europe. Like, oh, if it passed in France, it's going to pass in Portugal and Spain and Czechoslovakia. But again, at least here in the U.S., so fucking the way we do shit. Again, we couldn't get two shits if France passes something. That's not me being mean. That's just being realistic. Sorry, just to burst your bubble. Like, again, that's
Yeah.
just real
Yeah.
shit. Can you imagine going to an American politician? Hey, American politician, France passed a thing, so can we pass it? They're gonna laugh in your face.
Right.
So, like I said, man, so the two parts of this is I agree that this is vague. I don't agree with all the fucking ging up on Pirate Software. The concept of this is good. It's it's how it's written to actually propose a solution is not. I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I'm against how it's being. I'm just not all for how it's being presented. Like you and I both agree, if one of our employees or a colleague presents it to us, we'd absolutely tell them to go back, like, hey, you got some good points. You have to build off this. You got to be more detailed. Remove the emotional language.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think we definitely drove that into the ground, the details of that, you know. So, but I agree, I agree. I'm curious to see what happens in the future in regards to it. I will tell you one thing
Yeah.
that people are upset about. I'm a little upset about it too. Is Xbox canceling Perfect Dark, the
Why'd they
reboot.
cancel Perfect Dark, Darrell?
So, let's see here. So, I'm gonna read a little bit of this article here from Video Games Chronicles. This is Xbox cancels Perfect Dark reboot and closes its developers as the initiative will be closed as part of Microsoft layoffs. Says Xbox has canceled Perfect Dark reboot. It says in a statement, Xbox Game Studios Matt Booty said the decisions, in quote, reflect a broader effort to adjust priorities and focus resources to set up our teams for greater success within the changing industry landscape, end quote. It says Xbox showed gameplay from the Perfect Dark reboot last summer, 4 years after its announcement. According to reports, the game has been through challenging development and a company worldwide email announcing Microsoft also confirmed cancellation of Rare's Everwild, which was reported earlier. Oh man. Well, let me. Oh, actually, let me read this last thing here. It says in a message sent to all staff, Microsoft head of gaming Phil Spencer stated that the cuts were designed to end or decrease work in certain areas of the business to follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness. So, I have something to say about this, but I wanted to get your thoughts. Your thoughts
Speak
first.
Speaking of vague language, corpo bullshit. You see kids,
Yeah.
everything's not black and white. Not everything is absolute. Like they say in Star Wars, only cis believe in absolutes. It's possible to say I don't fully agree with everything Stop Killing Games is presenting, while also saying I don't like Microsoft laying off 9,000 fucking people. Who fucking knew in 2025, Jarrell, you can have you don't you can have two different opinions on relative subjects. Wow. Um, but yeah, I don't, like I said, their response, speaking of vague shit, no one leads the vague, no one leads in vague verbiage like fucking corporal bullshit, man. I like their own phrasing as like organizational changes, dynamic marketplace. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck is dynamic marketplace? Dynamic marketplace to me means like, hey, this weekend the farmer's market will be in this parking lot. The next weekend it's going to be over here. That's what dynamic marketplace means to me. Um, but I like that one quote is really weird. Removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness. Ah, yes, Drill. Nothing makes things go faster more than laying off 9,000 people.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to remember which person within Xbox they had the nerve on fucking LinkedIn to tell them to use Microsoft Copilot to look for a job, to tell AI to look for. I was like,
Dude.
how
Dude,
dare you
that's
fucking piece of shit? Because a lot of these layoffs, and this is separate from this layoff, it was to do with AI taking over a majority of a lot of other entry level positions, and the fucking CEO or one of the high level managers in LinkedIn said, "Hey, you should use AI to help look for a job." Like just like an incredibly tone deaf response, and I'm just like, this is why people don't fuck with corporate culture. You know, like it's just fucking
I like how
soulless.
Microsoft is like, we're trying to be more effective. Oh, but the guy that told people to use Copilot AI to look for jobs, yeah, he's still job security.
Right, right, exactly. Yeah, it's just it pisses me off, man, because you know, Perfect Dark could have been something, right? It could have been something, and to me, it's just management. Like it's poor management. It's not. Why are we laying off developers when it's a managing issue? This is why I was all for what's his name, Hideki, who was kind of like the interim CEO for Sony, kind of being into these going into these different developing studios and seeing what their plan is of turning around the game. Because I remember Church was like, why is he going after them when they're number one? It's like, bro, like if you want to stay number one, you need to see what the fuck people are doing and see if they're off track so you can properly manage this stuff. That's what real managers do. You know what I mean? So when it comes to Microsoft, it's just there's a clear mismanagement as far as for these titles coming out timely. You know, that would reflect the Xbox brand. But as we clearly have seen over the last few years, and I might be right on this when I said it initially on the show, you know, the Xbox One, the Series X, excuse me, that might be their last real console. That might be their last actual console. You know what I mean? Just because they're going in a direction that's so that is a complete it's a removal of their identity. You know what I mean? It's just it's really it's really nasty. You know, it's one thing when there's redundancies, right? We've talked about this before. You know, when there's an acquisition, more than likely there's layoffs to the redundancies. This has nothing to do with that. This is just okay, we didn't properly manage this. We're going to lay off everybody else. Like, wait a minute. Wait, whoa, what? What? You know, like Perfect Dark isn't just some fuck off game. Like, that has clear nostalgia and a market base where people could buy it if the game was done in a way that, you know, that made sense, you know, that, and so it's just, to me, like for Everwild, I can't really speak to just because, like, you know, I think that was in development forever, and I barely heard anything about that, so I can't speak to that. But mainly speaking to Perfect Dark, it's like, bro, like that could have been a big hit, you know, but it's just, and I think they shouldn't have pulled the cord on it, you know, regardless of how long it was. But it's just like, yeah, let's fire managers versus firing devs. You know, it's like if you don't manage me, how are you holding me accountable? You know, so it's frustrating because you know you and I, Arthur. I mean, we were from the. I mean, we played games of Xbox in the glorious days of Xbox, the 360 days. You know, like in and even early Xbox. Like there's some kid hitters in Xbox One early days, but we've seen the identity of when Phil Spencer got into position because he saved fucking Xbox when Homeboy wanted to be the TV station at that particular time, and Phil Spencer's like, no, 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 you know what I mean? And then, but then, like in irony, it's kind of turning into that anyway in the back end, you know. And then he's supposedly stepping down for what's her name, Sarah something, to come in, but
Bond.
Sarah Bond. So it's just, I'm like, everyone is soulless. You know, everyone doesn't really give a fuck about anything. Everyone just cares about money. We don't care about games. We're no longer a gaming platform. We're just how much money can we make and how much can we make our shareholders happy? Fuck our identity. Fuck releasing a good quality product. Fuck all that. We don't care about that. You know what I mean? So it's just it's really saddening to see that and to see people that have Xbox Series X's just staring at them in their entertainment consoles, knowing that, you know, hey, everything's an Xbox, so fuck what you have. You know, everything's an Xbox now. You know, fuck off. You know, and it's just, in addition to my tangent, separate from this article, you know, I'm a little more worried about this whole handheld thing. The more I think about it, the more it kind of doesn't make sense. I feel like this is more of a means test to what they want to release in the future. I think they're not going to just throw away their project for their Xbox One handheld or whatever that they were designing. I think this is a means test, but the price of this Xbox Ally, the higher end one, I mean, that's nearly going to be $1,000. It's going to be like $800,
At least 800.
right?
If it's below 800 trail, I'll be shocked
Right.
because their current model that's less powerful than this, or at least has less storage, is like 700 to 750. So if their new Xbox ROG Ally X is cheaper than 800, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
It's funny, Joe, because you know I traded in my Xbox around Earth Day when there was a promotion where I traded it into our old employer and got 420.69 worth. And I worked, worked with them. So they're trading a $500 console and only lose less than $80. I was like,
You did that shit right, my boy.
I'm going right fucking now,
You
dude.
did that shit right. You did that shit right. Kudos to you.
And the funny thing is, like it's funny, Joel, because speaking of Xbox, telling everyone that everything's an Xbox, Backbone Backbone is having a sale. Remember, those are the controllers that plug into your phone that make
Yeah.
that controller. So a part of me is like, do I just slowly collect more toys and
You
just,
should, which we should talk about later in the show as far as the handheld stuff.
but
But yeah,
like,
yeah.
just real quick, they're having a sale. They're having a sale. It's 40% off. So, dude, fuck, damn it, I might, Joel, dude, the Backbone One Lightning second gen, instead of $100, it's 60.
Honestly, and
Sorry, I'm pivoting and just
no,
and
it's
just
fine.
welcome to the world of everything's an Xbox, where I'm talking about my phone, which is an Xbox.
Yeah. Honestly, even though, and maybe for this reason, maybe wait a little bit just to save a little more for it. I think the Pro is worth it. That's the 169 because it's macroed for like everything. So if you wanted to plug it in and download like a PlayStation emulator or whatever, it's supposed to automatically macro to it. Like,
What?
and the controls are refined. It actually feels like a fucking controller. The old one, it's very much like little divvy, like the analog stick's terrible. The new one is actually like it feels like a fucking controller. It's way more advanced. You can use it as a regular controller. I personally recommend getting the Pro if you could. It's supposed to be one of the better controllers out there.
And hey, look, Drell, it had something at launch that PlayStation's portable Link didn't think of. It has Bluetooth capabilities. Because Sony's not
Right.
known for having Bluetooth, right? By the
Yeah,
way, the PlayStation Portable
they
Q
finally
Link, where the
added it.
fuck it's called,
Totally.
finally has Bluetooth. But I think it's hilarious that
Yeah.
Sony was like, "Oh yeah, we should have Bluetooth." Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that those are kind of my thoughts. Any additions for you?
I don't have anything else really to add than what you've already said. Like
Yeah.
for more reasons than one. Um, you know, I think you and I, after our last episode we recorded, it canceled our Game Pass subscription for now. I may get it back. Mine's not entirely like quote unquote political based because it sounds like, oh, they laid people off. It was also just like I was already unsubscribed because I got, like I said, Jarrell, this is really specific to me. I buy games, or in this case, subscribe to Game Pass based on what I'm playing. I am playing Helldivers right now, and really only Helldivers, so I'm turning off Game Pass. When I eventually play Space Marine 1 Remastered, Reforged, I think they called it, I'll get Game Pass again. Um, when the next big thing drops on Game Pass, I might get it back up, but I don't have Game Pass right now, and 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 like we said, man, it's it just sucks that like what Xbox is, what Xbox has become. It's disappointing. Um, these layoffs suck. They make no sense. Speaking of don't kill games or stop killing games, it's just weird that this is another game, at least I can't speak to Everwild, but at least to Perfect Dark. This is another long list of games where we saw gameplay. We saw fucking gameplay and it got canceled. Um Maybe Stop Killing Games
Yeah.
will fix that. Fuck.
Yeah, it's like you guys refine this exactly. Let's see if I can fix this shit. Yeah, one thing I wanted to talk about a little more on the happy side and maybe more on the nostalgic side. The state of play. Not talking about the state of play specifically, but one of the big things that they talked about or announced during the state of play is the Ghost of Yotei PlayStation 5 edition. So it looks like they're releasing special covers, controllers, and bundles, which is fucking crazy. Um, and it looks like the game is set to release October 2nd. But these controllers and these PlayStation 5, the artwork on them really fucking dope, man. Really fucking dope. And obviously, it's going to be limited quantities when it comes to these as well. As far as for the specifics of the actual art, it says this version draws inspiration from another Japanese traditional art form, sumie, which is the use of black ink on paintings. Pretty
I have a
sweet.
question. What do you think's gonna be more authentic to Japanese culture? Ghost of Yotei or Assassin's Creed Shadows? What? It's a
Uh,
valid question.
what do you said? What do you think is going to be more
What
more
do you think's
what?
gonna be more authentic to Japanese culture? Ghost of Yotei or Assassin's Creed Shadows? Because
I mean,
remember, Assassin's Creed Shadows was their most realistic game, or was their most realistic Japanese inspired game they've ever made, Jarrell.
oh, per fucking Ubisoft, fuck out of here.
Historically accurate. Also, Yusuke loved dick.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm excited for this. I don't know if this will tip me over to buy a PlayStation 5. It is leaning me more towards that direction
Yeah.
because they haven't even really pushed the power of the PS5 yet. They made this PS5 Pro, but everything that they've just made for it so far has been running great on a PlayStation 5.
Oh shit,
Um,
these aren't even PlayStation Pros. They're just PlayStation 5s. I didn't even know that.
I
Why
think
the
one
fuck?
of them's a Pro, but the other one's a Slim 5 Slim. But yeah, man, it's that whole thing is just funny in itself. But yeah, I think it's a waste of money to get a Pro personally. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We shall see. But it definitely looks cool. I'm excited about the game. I wish the game would come out the same time on PC, but it seems like it's gonna be traditional PlayStation 5 for a while until the PC release, right? Is that
Yeah, and don't buy it day one.
right?
PlayStation still has no idea how to release their games for the most part without bugs.
Yeah.
Shy of the massive mod, massive like if you're to measure it, double D mod support for Stellar Blade. That had a ton of support day one. But yeah, I'm always hesitant to a PC port day one, especially from PlayStation.
Right.
Um, I will say though, I will say this though, as a larger whole drill, I'm happy we're getting this console shit. You and I miss the days of limited edition consoles and limited edition controllers sold separately. That was the bit
Yeah.
that those were some of the biggest sellers. You know what I mean? Like when
Yeah.
that red PS3 God of War edition, the fucking R2D2 Xbox 360. Those things
The
were
Darth
sick.
Vader controller. I wish I just kept all of that.
Same, dude.
and
Well,
just
you
and
kept it,
just
mine
put my
didn't break.
marriage on the line and just kept all of those things. Just kept all of the consoles that I got for free, all the I got two PlayStation Vitas, Arthur. As a store manager, I got two for free and I sold both of them because I said this is fucking stupid. But I should have kept everything and just had everything for display. I wish I had those things just to show off. It would have been nice for my YouTube content. But yeah, man, crazy stuff. I'm considering it. I'm considering getting the God bless you, the Yote.
Sorry,
No worries, the Yote
I'm
edition.
looking at now, Draw. I'll put it in the chat. Fuck, dude, the Arkham City controller I had that used to change colors, the battering controller that used to change colors, it had better grips.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit's unopened going on eBay for like $250, man. That was one of the
Holy
best.
shit.
And here's the thing, I know I definitely opened that shit. Ergonomically, that license, it came with a collector's. No, I forget if it came with the collector's edition or sold separately. But I just put in chat if you want to look at the picture. But the Arkham City Batarang Xbox controller, dude, that thing was sick, man. I remember till this day on a rainy day wearing my Batman PJs like grown men do. Having hot chocolate for my Batman mug like men do. And beating one of the harder challenges where you had to maintain a 99 combo for I think it was 5 minutes straight in the arena. And dude, that took me like all day. That was one of the only times in my life I grinded it for an achievement and I got it. And I was like, oh, I was fucking proud. It's like, Arthur, could
That's
you spend all
awesome.
day like reading a book? Shut up, nerd. Um, but
Yeah.
I remember that. And it was just it was so fun with that Batman controller. I put to yellow because it's a classic Batman. When I got angry, I was like, "Fuck this! I'm putting it to red." Batman. Oh my God, the future guy. Oh my God, the future one. Terry McGillis. What
Oh
was it?
yeah. Oh yeah. Batman Beyond.
Beyond, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was like, oh, I'm locked in now. Red, let's go, Batman Beyond, because I had all the skins and
Nice.
shit. So it was really cool that, by the way, it was really cool that the colors on the controller matched the very, like, it didn't automatically change, but it was noticeable that all the controllers on the battering, all the colors, all the LED colors you could change, match the various Batman skins, like the classic yellow, the purple, um, the pur the purple, the red, the blue, they all kind of match the tones.
That's
But what I'm
crazy.
saying, it's really good to see PlayStation getting back into kind of what used to make PlayStation, which was having limited edition consoles and controllers for their big first party titles.
Yeah.
You and I are still pissed that about how the PlayStation 1 skin was handled by Sony. It could have been so much fucking better. That PlayStation 1 anniversary, dude, could have been so handled so much better and they fucked it.
I just hate how, and they've done that, what, that twice, Arthur? They did it with the 4 and they did it with the 5.
Yeah.
I just hate that, like, it's literally like it's here one day and it's gone another day, and then fucking that piece of shit, what was his name? I forget his name.
You had me with Batman Beyond. I got you in this one. Jim Ryan.
Jim, fuck you, Ryan. Yeah, that gets a fucking one of those, leaving. I'm like, I don't care. I don't even work for the company. You did so much damage. Go fuck yourself. So yeah, I I can't stand shit like that, man. I remember when we had a very selected few, were selling those to customers. I was like, God damn, tough days, man, tough days. But yeah, no, I am all for these collector's editions as I've said time again, software moves hardware, and this is really how it's fucking done. It's just like,
Hell Divers is why I bought a PS5, man. No
right,
regrets.
like I wouldn't be surprised if they did like a Helldivers edition. You know what I mean? Do a Helldivers
I would
design PS5.
I'll say this right now. If they I doubt they will because
Yeah,
Sony's really ever smart. Um if they do release like a Helldivers limited edition controller like licensed from Sony, I'll buy it.
yeah.
And here's the thing, Drill. I told you, I got like $130 of, GameStop credit burning a hole in
Oh,
my
that's
pocket because the
right.
Xbox,
That's
because
right.
my Xbox traded in. So I would use my GameStop credit to buy a PlayStation 5 Helldivers controller.
That's awesome. That is hilarious. That's
Yeah.
hilarious. But yeah,
Um
man, we'll see. We'll see.
yeah.
I might pull the trigger on it on this guy. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to wait it out. Wait it out, indeed. What else is on the docket here? I know we're over an hour here. One of the last things. Do we
What else
want to
other
talk about
corporate
Last of
corporate
Us season 3?
No.
Okay.
No. Well, okay,
All right,
well,
I'm rolling
well,
with you. We don't have to talk about
Drill,
it.
we'll let people know what's happening, but just
Okay.
know, just roll, just end it with that one phrase from, no, what Jim Carrey from the Sonic movie. Nobody cares. So there are updates to Last of Us season 3, the show that we don't care about. Uh, I remember Drill, even on their actual like thumbnail or poster. Remember, what's her name? The the mom, the chick, the lesbian chick that's gonna be a mom.
Dina.
Dina, I was gonna say Diana. Diana, that didn't feel right.
Yeah.
I just watched Batman, so I was thinking Wonder Woman.
Ah,
Um, remember Dina's character. Sorry, Dina is more the forefront in the advertisements than Ellie is. So speaking of that, Drill, it will Ellie be important in season 3?
hell no. She's barely gonna be in it, if at all. Um, yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, we don't talk about it, but the main thing is just I won't be watching it. Um, I won't be watching it. And then it's just I just don't know why they did Ellie like that. I don't know why they did my girl like that. You know what I mean? I feel like they wrote her to be this terrible fucking, this really annoying fucking person that had zero character development, that and then just had like bipolar disorder on like, I want to revenge Joel. I want to revenge Joel. I'm an idiot. We should help him. Like I just don't understand. I don't understand.
I will say this, Joel. She was not bipolar and being an idiot. She was always an idiot in season two. Like she was like,
Yeah, yeah, that
yeah,
was very
it
consistent.
was
That was
like
most
I'm
consistency.
dumb while trying to get revenge on Joel, to I'm dumb while not trying to get revenge for Joel.
Yeah, I was like, this is fucking terrible,
But
and it makes me really quick. It makes me mad that more people aren't calling that out. Like, there's so many people that are just like, yeah, I liked it. It was good. Like, I was watching this.
it was empowering.
I was
Good to
watching
be a
this YouTube.
dad.
Yeah, like I was watching this YouTube video of this like gaming channel that has like some decent, like a decent following, and and they briefly talked about Last of Us season 2 on HBO, and they're like, "It was pretty good. I liked it." I'm like, "You guys are fucking idiots. I can't subscribe to this." What are you
You're not
talking
getting my
about?
you're not getting my thumbs up like.
Yeah, down like bitch.
It
Yeah,
was
like
not.
I was like,
And,
"What the
and
fuck?" Like,
I know we glanced over it, but so the actual news around the Last of Us season 3 show on HBO, but it's not Max, it's HBO again, HBO Max. Ellie is not in Last of Us season 3. Abby is the main character, and Neil Druckmann has stepped away. Fuck, dude, actually saying that out loud, it makes me think I might at least watch the season premiere. Here's why.
you're
I
like,
because
that sounds like everything
I'm
I liked about the
I may have
show.
judged season 3 too harshly. Arthur, what did you not like about season 2? Ellie. What did you not like about the Last of Us game, the sequel, Last of Us 2? Neil Druckmann. Well, do I got good news for you about season 3 of the show?
It's like that Morpheus meme. What if I told you?
Yeah. It's like, Arthur, you don't like the show, but what if I told you the things you didn't like about it are gone? Oh, fuck. Okay, Drell, let me put it in reverse. Let me go back a bit. I might actually watch the season premiere because I'm not gonna lie, Drell, I so didn't give a shit about the show. I forgot what the news was, even though you put it in chat that I read. I didn't skim, I swear. I didn't skim it. Um, I totally forgot that Abby's gonna be the main character. And funny enough, Jarrell,
Yeah.
you and I both said Abby. Every scene Abby was in the show were like some of the best moments in the show
Oh,
because of
she's
her
brilliant. She should be
because of her
nominated
character.
for. She should be nominated for an Emmy. Her performance is great.
If dude, if the chick that's gonna be a dad gets nominated and not her, I'll be pissed.
Yeah, I would be pissed too, personally.
But you know, like I said, like you're right. Maybe I judge it too harshly. Shit, Jarrell, seeing that loud, Neil Druckmann's gone, Ellie's not even in it. Fuck, dude, we might actually have a good show again. Like, and here's why, not to go back on our own hypocritical thing, but like, because we did say, the few episodes that were good in season 2, Neil Druckmann was involved in, and I do stand by that. Like the war on the town and the episodes we talked about were good episodes. But now that Ellie's gone and Abby's the main character, it makes me think they're gonna do a little more creative decision on the show. And I think that's okay because we all can agree where they ended the show for season 3. We're all like, why is this going to exist? The game isn't enough to carry a whole season. So now that Ellie's not going to be in it and Neil Druckmann's gone, I think the team that remains may be okay. I can't speak too much to the writing because, like, again, like we said, to go back on our own thing, we did say some of the weaker episodes are the ones Neil Druckmann didn't write. So that makes me nervous. But seeing that Ellie's gonna be the main character, that actress and her performance might, has a chance, Drill, be enough to carry the show. Um, because hell, even the few scenes in the season finale where she was in, like she had more emotional range. Not, this sounds bad, but like, sorry, it's just to compare apples to apples. But as far as performance, I feel like in the season finale that Abby's actress had a better emotional performance than Ellie's actress.
Yeah,
Like the scene,
I think she's a better actress. Yeah, I
like
think
the
Abby's a better. She's a better actress.
100%. And the ending scene in the theater where she's holding the gun over Tommy, and Abby is like emotional because her pregnant friend was just murdered, and Ellie's reaction because her friend was it Glenn? What's his name?
Yeah,
He
yeah,
just got fucking one tapped,
right.
and so now you have two people that are dealing with recent losses through murder through via murder of the person in front of them. It's like a case study of like one of these things is a little better than the other. Because that's what it is you have two people staring at each other. They both had a person in life murdered by the person in front of them. And I'm sorry, Abby fucking killed it. Abby was awesome. Abby was awesome in that. And so that's why I'm just like, fuck Drill. You know what? Reading the head on out loud. Ellie's gone. Neil Druckmann is gone. I'll give it a chance, Drill. I'll give it a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully they continue to write Abby well. You know what I mean? Hey, we've come a long way. We used to talk a lot of shit about Abby, but once we saw the performance of the show, we're like, hey, they chose the right person for this. You know?
Yeah, she was good, and it's really cool because now a lot of people are going through her filmography and watching other films she was in, and to like, oh fuck, she's just always been good. Like I forget what the last movie or show she was in, and people are watching it. They're like, dude, you gotta watch it. And I forget what it was, but people are like, yeah, watch this.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's doing great, and um, yeah, the viewership will definitely go down because Pedro, internet's favorite, fucking dad isn't there anymore. Pedro Pascal, he's dead. Sorry, he had a bad golfing trip. Womp womp. But
Hit
sorry,
nine iron to the fucking fucking
sorry,
face.
he had a bad handicap day. Brap, brap. Um, but yeah. Um,
Pretty
I
much,
have one
man.
question. I have one question.
Yeah.
Should I have received my Game Informer magazine by now?
I was gonna ask you that. I was gonna say, did that arrive? Did,
It wasn't in my mail. I'm hoping if it was a package, it may have got jacked just because I was gone for a week.
oh no
So
way.
I don't know. I need to check more on their site of like if it's been shipped or not. How do I look into
Yeah.
that?
She's got tracking.
If I don't hear anything by end of next week, I may call their customer service.
Yeah.
Um, it's not the end of the world because I do have the digital thing, but I literally paid for print.
Yeah, you literally got it so you could get physical magazines. So that needs to be rectified. They gotta fix that shit.
Yeah, let me
Because
make
I've
sure
been
I
reading a little bit of the digital, So I was like, yeah, I
yeah,
wonder
no,
how if that is.
my address is right. Um, oh, here you go. Oh, there's tracking. Here you go.
Oh, good.
Oh, never mind. That's cookie shit. Oh, that's weird. Um, ba 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 ba. I don't know. I'll look into it. If I don't
Yeah,
get it by the end of next week, if I don't get it
I'd
by the
give
end
a
of next
call.
week, I'll call customer support.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, speaking of Game Informer, I feel like it's an intentional new like segment in the show is just to end the show with Game Informer news. How you liking the digital edition so far since you started reading through it?
It's pretty cool, man. I think my only criticism is that I wish there was a dedicated app for it versus it just being web based because it's kind of annoying if you put it away for a while and even though if you kind of bookmark it, like you have to sign back in again and go back into the magazine and stuff. I wish they just had a dedicated app where I could just bookmark and then just open it back up and continue to read where I left off. That's my only negative critique. But other than that, I think it's cool. You know what I mean? I got on the iPad. It looks great. Um, and I'm still reading through it too. I'm kind of reading like the little itty bits and stuff and like the mini editorial stuff. So it's cool to have. It's cool to have. Yeah, I just wish they made a dedicated app for it. And I know obviously that's more money, but I wish they did because I feel like it would make the digital experience a lot better. because I do save it to my desktop, the iPad main home page to get back into it. But sometimes if it's for a long time, it'll time out and you have to re-sign in. It's kind of a bitch, but other than that, it's cool. You know, I'm happy I subscribed. You know what I mean? I'm happy for it, and it's nice just to have some reading material to check it out. You know, so
I like the title of their articles. The Switch 2 games to play when you're done with Mario Kart World.
yeah, man. I wanted to talk briefly, just unless you had anything else to talk about for Game Informer.
No, just they have oh, I don't know if you got to this story yet, but they have an article on Resurrected Game Studios about Tango, about Tango Gameworks that
Oh yeah,
got bought. So they have an article about that.
yeah. I need to read. I need to read that. I don't know if I got that far in, or if I skipped it or something. I don't know. But yeah, definitely gotta check that out. They were wronged, but at least they were purchased again by the PUBG studio. So yeah. Um, so it's funny. Speaking of all this, like stop killing games and the preservation of games and stuff, I've been really diving into these retro handhelds. So basically, like there's a bunch of these like Chinese made handhelds where you can have like PS2 games or the games that you purchased and quote and purchased onto these devices and just play them like you know, and it's really cool. Like it's kind of like it makes me feel like a kid again. Like I have this guy. Um, it's I got this from on Amazon, but this is like my old phone, the S21 FE. But it has the processor is powerful enough to run a lot of PS2. It kind of struggles with Snake Eater, so I kind of have to buy the PC version of the
Damn.
H2 Snake Eaters, and I'm like, God damn it! But it runs a lot of games, man. I was playing Fight Night, I was playing Twisted Metal. Yeah, I was playing a decent amount of stuff, you know, with this controller. A little clicky, but it does the job. I can play PS1, 2, PSP games. Um, Pretty fucking cool. But yeah, and then I also got an Ambernic RG40XXV, and I kind of call it's like my PS1 machine. So like I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 1, as you know, is my favorite fucking game of all time. But the nice thing about the screen is that it's like it's 4 inches, but it's specific edge to edge where I'm really getting a solid PlayStation 1 experience and it doesn't look like super pixelated or whatever. Like it's a decent size just to kind of show the camera as far as like the screen size. Like all of that is just screen. There's no bezels.
It's like this. It's like the size the hardware wise for the listeners. It's like the size of the old school Game Boy, but the screen is a higher
Yes.
ratio of the surface area.
Right. Oh yeah, thanks for calling that out. And I'm using this thing called MuOS and it's just like very bare bones control console style. It's just like where you want to go to play your games, and it's fucking cool, man. I mean, it's pretty sweet. So it definitely brings me back. You know what I mean? Just like to play these old school games. Um, yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. So I recommend it for those who kind of want to dive back into the old school. Um, Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
One thing that wrapped up while I was gone. Did you buy anything from Steam sales?
Just the things that I bought when we were talking before we recorded. So the Star was it Spiritfarer, that special edition. I bought that. I haven't played that yet. I want to I'll probably play that. I'll play that soon.
Play with headphones. Play with headphones. The
Okay.
music, like I said,
Said the music's
Spiritfarer is a
great,
very
right?
relaxing game. It's very fun.
That's good to know. Yeah, I definitely will do that because I have a yeah, I have a device where I can like stream it via Moonlight from my PC to one of my handheld stuff to check it out. So I'll be doing that. What else did I fucking buy? Oh, I bought the Crash Bandicoot, the collection or
Yeah, that's
whatever.
what was like $4, right?
Yeah, fucking cheap as fuck. So I was like, oh shit, I said hell yeah, I'll buy that shit. So yeah, the Insane Trilogy, I bought that. But yeah, I didn't buy too much. I just bought like two games, maybe three. I think I just bought the two. Did you? What did you buy in that sale?
I didn't pull the trigger on anything because like there was a $20 game that was on
Uh,
sale for $15. Little Nightmares 2
yeah.
was on sale, but it just dropped on either Game Pass, either just dropped on Game Pass or PlayStation Premium.
Oh,
But
okay.
either way, I was gone. Like either way, like I was literally not at my computer when it ended. So, and I could have done the whole forgot password thing, but to put it this way, Jarrell, Little Nightmares 2 would have been the only thing I really would have pulled the trigger on because it was like there were like my cart. I had three things in my cart. Tactical Breach Wizards, which is like XCOM meets Wizards. And that was a $20 game on sale for 15. And there was another indie game that was on sale for 20 to 15. And I'm not saying I won't buy those games, but like I don't regret not saving $5 per game. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I missed out. I missed out on $5. Um, the other thing, like I said, Little Nightmares 2 would have been the only game that was actually like a good sale. Like I think it was a $40 game on sale for like $7. So that's the only like big savings of a game I was looking at that I may have missed out on. But otherwise, yeah, I'm looking at
Good shit.
I like those like city building games or like park buying games like City Skylines 1, not 2. Um and that one roller coaster game I have. It's not Roller Coaster Tycoon, but it's Planet Coaster. But right now while I'm speaking, Jurassic World Evolution 2, which is like build a Jurassic Park, like literally like you're building an amusement park. The vanilla game's on sale for $3 instead of 60. And then the super duper crazy premium edition that's normally $150 is on sale for $47. So I don't know. My looking into that. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah. Otherwise, for me, I did not buy anything this summer sale. I had, like I said, I had three things in my cart, and I left on vacation, and I never pulled the trigger. Little
Yep.
Nightmares 2 would have been the only thing. Just upside downside, it's okay, Joel, because I still have currently 53 fucking games. Um, games I still have yet to beat. Games I've still yet to beat.
Those
Alien
rookie
Dark.
numbers. You gotta get those numbers up.
Fuck you. Um, a game I do want to get back into, and I might kind of stream with you live
Mm.
in Discord, because it's a very watchable game. It's very tense. Victor and I played it while he was visiting me, like here back in November. Is Alien Dark Descent? That's
Oh yeah.
XCOM, but meets aliens, and you're like colonial marines trying to like get people out. Like your ship crashes or there's alien infestation, you're trying to just rescue the townspeople. It's like a heart palpitation type of game. Like get your blood pressure. It's a tense game. And when him and I were playing it like couch, like we took turns, or he was like watching me a lot, it was like, like, because you would turn the corner, because you have line of sight. If there's a hallway and the hallway turns left, there's no like, well, you can see the left of the hallway. No, it's realistic. You can only see what's in front of you. So there's so many times you turn a hallway corner and just like, wow, there's like an alien in the wall, or like a sentry spots you and calls the horde over. And Alien Dark Descent,
It's crazy.
it's yeah. So I might, and I looked it up, Joel. Unfortunately, there are no cooperative mods for it, but I will say it's one of the few games. It's one of the like mini games I have that's definitely like watchable. So like, I
That's
mean,
a
right,
great game to stream. You streamed that before?
yeah, I streamed it directly through the PlayStation,
Oh,
but it was
okay.
it was around the time where my PlayStation server was fucking up, so I kept crashing. So like, let's say I streamed 4 times, but only like two got uploaded, or like it was one of the ones where I'd stream for 10 minutes, cut, and then stream for an hour and a half. Then I had to delete the 10-minute stream. Um, but yeah, Alien Dark Descent is next to my playlist, and a game drill I eventually need to beat, but I'm not a game I eventually need to beat, drill. But I've yet to beat because I have so much fun in the world. I have so much fun in the story. I don't want the story to end. Is Cyberpunk. I've still yet to beat Cyberpunk just because I'm the type, like I said, when I played Skyrim drill, I did this campaign mission where you kill the dragon in Whiterun, and then literally a month. I played the game for a month before I did my second story mission. And so I keep doing that every fucking time I play Cyberpunk. So I've yet to beat it. Um, I've yet to beat it.
Cyberpunk is so good. It's such a good game. I highly recommend it. I want to buy the DLC. That's on the list. Is to get the Phantom Liberty DLC.
Yeah, with
Gotta
Idris
grab,
Elba, man.
gotta grab that shit. So, all right, folks. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up here for the Gamers Fly podcast. Each and every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, discussing all things games. I'm one of your hosts, Jarrell. With me is my co-host, Arthur Thomas.
That's me.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.